before running around in a field like birds with streamers for feathers. I started in my little car as a traveling STEM specialist. And here we are. This is that story. I came from being a scientist hoping to have more impact than one little lab job. I worked with fungus, bacteria a couple times, as well as a pharmaceutical chemist. They were wonderful experiences, and the science taught me so much, which I bring to the Science Fairy. In STEM, we look to the greats. Marie Curie is one of those greats to me. She was very much a teacher as well as a renowned scientist. But that leads me to who are my favorite teachers. Kids! They are the best scientists there ever were. They explore, they try, they build, they engineer, they tinker, and we love it. Children, all children, have lively minds, whether it's onions or magnets or something more typical like shapes on a worksheet here. But mostly it's hands-on activities that these kids get with that Science Fairy, and they work together as a group. Solving problems as a group is what Science Fairy does by providing dedicated STEM time, the materials to really engage learners, and also training and a comfort level for Science Fairies and teachers as they deliver STEM lessons which are thought to be difficult. Engaging children in real-life phenomena is the answer to the question, how do you ignite understanding? Whether it's a sinusoidal wave going up and down like a rope, these early experiences provide Science Fairy students with the knowledge to build upon and even be called better than their peers at STEM specifically because of their deep understanding. TEM and STEM are harder to do. Here's an example of an engineering project called Hingineering. Children can see hinges throughout their world, probably not something they may have thought of very often, but these environmental observations make it real. I've created at least 100 projects now, and they are all tested by these kiddos here in family child care homes. The first activity involves the human body and the hinges in the feet and the arms and the elbows. As you can see, the children are manipulating these toys, and these toys can be used for other projects such as bones or other natural phenomenon. The skills are ECE, and they are across domains. Here you can see the kids doing some gross motor movement and dancing with the bones. I record how-to videos like this one here on fatigue stress.
Of a Chanel stem or a pipe cleaner as they're traditionally called. So there's the cutting method, but that's not much of a hinge. So what we do to the hinge is get the kids to pinch
Works
their
on those
fingers
5
like
motor
this.
skills.
And they're going to bend this pipe like that. Pipe cleaner like
And
that.
problem solving
Back
for
and
trying to
forth.
get the fingers just right.
And back and forth. It does take some
These instructions
time.
are found on
It is
YouTube.
kind of therapeutic though, I find. As you bend it back
And here
and
the
forth,
kids are
that metal, while it
practicing
is really strong, is going to weaken.
With their
and
own
is
fingers.
It fatigue stress.
Easy peasy
Fatigue
materials.
stress causes the hinge.
Very fun.
We don't want this
Very
happening in our
easy to
hinges,
do.
so it's good to design against it, but it's a little bit fun just to introduce that concept in engineering.
Sweet. What do you do?
Watch.
Flip it. Oh, one-handed. All this group work also contributes to social emotional learning, as you can see the children here playing with these DIY hinges. The next activity of the 5 in this project involves using a hammer and punch to remove the pin in the hinges that have been built for this activity for this project. As you can see, with adequate supervision, the pin is removed, and the child is very excited. And these are real materials with adequate supervision again. And here a child aligns the hinge to fit the pin again. While this last activity takes some teacher preparation, it's no different than any other craft. This take-home uses cardstock and straws cut in sections to fit a 3-section and a 2-section that fit together and form a hinge. Then a golf pencil is inserted in between and erasers placed at the ends. Now that we have an example Science Fairy project, imagine taking this with these kinds of systems. A scheduled booking for 1 hour, economies of scale where $60 worth of materials in a project is repeated several times a week. Finally, holding adult conversations with childcare providers provides complete care to the customer. Magic happens, and where I store all of my materials here in my garage. This keeps teachers from having to organize, store, pay for storing, and remember where everything is. Here, I pack tubs every 2 weeks for 2 different projects to keep pace with my bookings. This garage work is so much fun, as you can see my little helper. Impact business involves people, planet, and purpose. while serving kids and their providers is people. The next is the planet. Here you can see me shopping for used colored sand at the thrift store. We have a wonderful thrift store here that provides many opportunities to save the planet by reducing waste and being creative with activities and materials. Solving the problems of early STEM engagement, of provider isolation, and of materials being used stored for inventory means that this is a scalable opportunity to be replicated in other cities where franchisees can use the systems developed and the projects and their own to create sustainable STEM learning. Operating Science Ferry in the greater Colorado Springs region has given the following statistics year over year, with about 1,000 impression hours working with children in this area. There's also the fun things, the entering STEM really well, and this if you can read it. Being in the ECE classroom with all those experiences, as well as being a mobile and nimble business itself, I love the opportunities that Science Ferry has provided, not just for these kids or these providers looking to reach a little extra. It's all about learning. Chasing this dream has been my best occupation yet.